Just a normal day in Little Village.
I'll go kick in my door. They don't even got a warrant. You don't got no warrant to kick my door in.
This 24-year-old Cook County Jail detained Chicago.
Number one, victim one, shot in the head, critical. Number two, shot in the face, critical. Number three, graze to the chin, stable. Number four, shot to the left leg, stable. Number five, shot to the right arm, stable. Went to all different hospitals. Everybody found cooperative on scene. We get more info, I'll let you know.
The Latin Kings was founded in 1943 in Chicago. They're part of the People Nation, and their rivals is anything in the Folk Nation. The almighty Latin King and Queen Nation are the largest Latino American street gang, founded in the West Humboldt Park neighborhood on the west side of Chicago, Illinois.
Police are asking for the public's help identifying several suspects in a weekend shooting in Humboldt Park. A man seriously injured and an officer hit in his bulletproof vest.
WGN's Courtney Spinelli live at the 11th Police District with details there. Courtney?
Micah and Ray, good evening. Today, Chicago police released new video and photos from the shooting early Sunday morning. They say they're looking for at least 4 male suspects, and they're asking the community to take a hard look at these new images that you're about to see.
Shots fired at the police, shots fired at the police.
Police dispatch audio detailing the moments right after bullets went flying early Sunday morning near North Harding and West Augusta. ShotSpotter gunshot detection picking up 11 rounds fired just after 2.
He had just gotten out of a car when they started shooting, and then our car got hit.
According to CPD, 11th District officers on routine patrol saw several male suspects firing at another group walking down the street. Video from nearby home surveillance cameras capturing it all.
Ammo just en route to the gunshot victim, and I got another ammo coming to for the officer.
A close call, as CPD says one officer was hit in his bulletproof vest, another hit by glass as it shattered. An 18-year-old man was also shot, left with serious injuries.
When I came in, it was police everywhere.
Keith Hodge was picking his brother up from work when the shooting happened, but came home shortly after. He says his brother is a security guard, and much like the concern he has for his sibling, he also worries for the officers out on the streets.
When you think about their lives, they put their lives on the risk for us.
He says he's growing even more worried about violence in this area.
A young man got shot basically down the street at the end of the corner.
Hodge is talking about a separate shooting just hours earlier, also in the 900 block of North Harding, Saturday afternoon. Police say an 18-year-old man was shot in the leg by an unknown suspect, expected to survive.
The gentleman down the street, his car got shot up, and another neighbor's car got shot up.
As police continue their investigation into both, they're asking people to take a hard look at these suspects they allege were involved in the shooting early Sunday morning. Meantime, Hodge hopes people will consider their actions before another innocent person is injured or killed.
It always concerns me because you think about other people's lives. And honestly, I don't see the love from what we're supposed to have for one another.
Now, this all remains under investigation by Area 4 detectives and the investigative response team. Those two officers, the one that was injured or hit by that glass, and then the one that was struck in the vest, they were both taken to the hospital, expected to be okay. Now, we do know that CPD says no officers returned fire during this incident. Reporting live at Area 4 headquarters, Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
Breaking news out of Humboldt Park now. Chopper 2 captured these pictures from Augusta and Hamlin, where 2 people were shot and killed less than an hour ago. Right now, police don't have any suspects in custody. The gunman reportedly used a high-powered rifle. Stay with CBS 2 as we continue to follow this breaking story.
Large movements of Puerto Rican individuals were registered across the United States during and following World War II. Attracted by the prospect of finding a job in the new factories that were created to support the U.S. war effort, they eventually settled in Chicago and the surrounding areas, giving birth to a flourishing ethnic community. In 1943, several Puerto Rican males came together to create an association that aimed at reducing racial stereotypes, as well as ensuring a peaceful cohabitation among different races. The newborn Latin kings and queen nation would, though soon, evolve into the organized crime group that we know today.
This is my block right here. All day. Drop low ride again. Drop it, bro. Drop it, nigga. Drop lower like you just did. That's why I thought, Diego, you a bitch, nigga. You already know we'll be on King Lover over here, bitch.
Meanwhile in Chicago,
the gang eventually split into two subsections in 1986 when Luis Felipe moved to New York and started a new chapter of the gang. The Motherland and the Bloodline faction both operate throughout different territories and abide by a strict set of rules that is applied to all members. With several thousand miles separating Felipe from his former affiliates, he was forced to re-establish the gang in this new location. In New York, the LK is divided into several independent subgroups, all named after old Inca Indians. Felipe would be arrested shortly after his arrival in the city. With him out of the picture, the gang went through several transformations that eventually ended in 1995 when Antonio Fernandez ascended to power. Fernandez wanted a fresh start and thus began working to turn the old gang into a street organization. At the same time, the group began accepting female members into their ranks. These would later be known as Latin Queens. Members of the Kings and Queens started appearing at political rallies and protests in support of the Latino community. In an effort to gain legitimacy, monthly open meetings were held in Harlem. These attracted even more members into the new formed organization.
Well, the origin of the Latin Kings comes at 1940. But what happened from the 1940s to the 1960s, they pretty much lost the goals and the things that were set by their past forefathers, and they got lost and the gang got into it, the banging. The late 60s to 70s, Lord Gino, who is recognized by all the kings as the superior, united all the little fashions and all the little cliques in Chicago that were Latin kings and made them into one. And that's when the crown became a symbol. And it symbolized one crown, one Latino. King Blood was from Chicago and found himself in trouble. And King Blood is Luis Felipe. And he came to New York, got in trouble, and the Latin Kings were born in New York in 1986 in Collins Correctional Facility. King Blood united the crown in New York, and ever since then, we've been on the outrise.
Texas, where you at? I'm on that land. I'm on that land. I'm on that land. Where you at? This is where you at. Gracious brothers and sisters, where you at? Don't love the crown and the nation, where you at?
With nothing turkey, drive, I'm on that land.
Team represent Washington High School, so he can drive. I'm on that land.
Following a long investigation into his activities both as a legitimate businessman and as a gang leader, Fernandez was arrested in 1999. He was charged with conspiracy to sell heroin, pleaded guilty, and was sentenced to 13 years in prison. He has since been released. Today, the Latin Kings still exist throughout most of the United States and South America. The gang has begun accepting members from all races, although the majority of them are still Hispanic. International crimes, as well as local ones, constitute the main source of income for this large group. The Latin Kings specialize in battery, racketeering, extortion, murder, and drugs trafficking. Their legacy can still be found in the so-called Kingism ideology, a set of ideas and beliefs that regulate the life of each member of the gang and of the group itself. These can be found in a document known as the King Manifesto. Complete devotion to the ideas therein detailed and strict abidance by all of the rules in the manifesto are required in order to be accepted in the gang.
Yeah, on that car. Where you from? On that car. I said who it is. On that car.
The Satan Disciples started in the year 1959 by King Satan at the street corner of 15th and Talman in the North Lawndale neighborhood on Chicago's west side. They started on the east side of Douglas Park, which was not a major African American neighborhood at that time. The vast majority of North Lawndale was African American by 1959, but the last of the white element was east of the park.
We in your hood, nigga. Where you at, nigga? It's 10 o'clock, boy. What you on?
The Satan Disciples was founded mainly by Czechoslovakian and Polish white males, and they took in Mexican youths too that made up about half the gang. Some legends have claimed that the Satan Disciples name was an idea spawned from influence from the early Devil's Disciples, BDs or the GDs, as the Devil's Disciples taught the Satan Disciples how to gangbang, but that is not at all true.
Post it up, nigga. Where y'all at? Stop claiming sister when y'all ain't sister. Nigga, stop that banging, nigga. Come on, G, let's rock, nigga.
To little Davies. Come on, man. We out here, nigga. Where we at right now, dog? We in the gas station. Where we at right now? Ready to post it. We fit that down for that.
The Satan Disciples didn't have any links to Black Gangster Disciples until 1978 when the Folk Alliance was established. The real origin of the name came from a priest that did community outreach in the area who came across the original SDs and called them Devil's Disciples, and that gave the youth an idea to form the Satan Disciples. By 1964, Latin Kings began pushing their way into the Pilsen and Little Village neighborhoods. Latin Kings wanted 18th Street in Pilsen and 26th Street in Little Village, and this did not fly well for the gangs that had already been there.
We out here. Hell no. Back out Troy. Oh now. Ike game chopping us, don't know how to act. Out here glizzied up.
Come on, Ike, what?
Oh, phone. Like damn, Swaggy literally right here. Not for no 2 minutes either. Hell no, we out here. Look at the address, folks. We out here. Oh, phone now. We out here, son.
The Latin Kings were able to set up massive territory along 26th Street, but 18th Street proved to be a major challenge for them, and that is particularly credited to the Satan's Disciples that held it down at 18th in California, and they would eventually spread to 18th and Rockwell in the North Lawndale neighborhood to further solidify their presence and keep Latin Kings out. The Latin Kings still were able to secure territory on 21st through 31st Street, all through Pilsen and Little Village, but the SDs made it very hard for Latin Kings to exist there until Latin Kings turned the Culture Counts into Culture Kings in the late 60s. But that was all that the Latin Kings could settle in Pilsen. In 1993, Satan Disciples opened up territory in the Gage Park neighborhood at 59th and Spalding, started by OSO. These SDs came from the K-Town area of the Little Village community, many of which were formerly Ridgeway lords that flipped to SDs. These SDs became a permanent fixture in the Gage Park community. In this area, the Satan disciples warred heavily with Crown Town Latin kings. In 1995, King Aggie was released from prison, but he soon found he was not embraced by all of the SDs. Many SDs told King Aggie that he should not be the leader, and that they wanted second in command Danny Gizmo Valencia to run the Satan disciples as the new king. In November of 1995, Gizmo was shot and killed. It was said that his own gang killed him, more specifically King Aggie supporters, and supposedly the hit was ordered by King Aggie. After that, the Satan disciples never had another king. The SDs and the Latin kings still continue to go to war till this day, and it is the most bloodiest war that's ongoing right now in Chicago amongst the Latino community.
In other news, 3 shot in broad daylight in Little Village today. Police are looking for who is responsible. CBS 2's Jeremy Ross has more on that and crime trends in that community.
What we do know is that the victims were inside the restaurant eating prior to the incident. And when they exited the restaurant, that's where the incident took place.
What happened in the morning outside a Little Village business sent 3 to the hospital and sent detectives looking for a killer. At 31st and Harding, police say gunfire hit 3 men inside a Jeep around 6:15 Saturday morning. Police say the passengers inside the vehicle are ages 26 and 38 and were shot multiple times. A 46-year-old driver was shot twice in the face. He later died at Mount Sinai Hospital. According to police data, these types of crime scenes are less common this year compared to the same time last year. Shooting incidents in this district are down 13%, murders down 9%. As for this latest crime, it is unclear what sparked the violence or if the victims knew their attacker. What is clear, police are looking for the shooter and for help finding who's responsible.
If they have any information, to call us at 911, or if they want to remain anonymous, to send us the information via cpdtip.com.
That was CBS 2's Jeremy Ross reporting.
Alright gang, there you have it. It's another one. SDs versus Latin Kings. Get in that comment section, let's talk about it. I know y'all got a lot to say about this. Alright, you know what it is. Driller gang. Drillers and trappers, we trapping and drilling 24/7. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and don't go nowhere. Just watch that next video. Gang!